Hello friends, this is Sanjay Shah. I am presenting you my novel The Unfiled Case for Uspurta channel. This is recording for chapter 7. Everybody thinks we are fine. Previously, we saw that the family feud triggered by Vaini Sahib's absence is about to boil when all meet face to face at a Radhanagari cottage. The Jungle Cottage is an ideal place as the incident has also happened here. Dada wants to prevail over his wife to drop the case. Dada remembered the instance many years back when Bhau fired shots in the jungle. Now, Dada remembered his tenure as Environment and Forest Minister. It was one such jungle called Melghat where a girl child was pulled away by leopard and never recovered. He had tried to bring order to the man versus wild conflict by getting provisions for compensation for the life and property loss by wildlife to be promptly paid. These days, there was news of wild elephants getting into Radhanagari forest and getting into sugarcane farms of people in the area, destroying acres of well-grown farms overnight. So farmers and villagers in the area have to worry about elephants apart from bison destroying their farms. He was thinking of plight of jungle. On one hand, they try to migrate villages in the jungle areas to other safer locations, and on the other hand, try to advertise the sanctuary in the cities so that the flow of tourists continues, which help them raise more funds for conservation efforts. Dada was sipping afternoon tea on the porch of the cottage with Mama. Once they were alone, Dada narrated the incident that had flashed in front of him to Mama Raste. Both were very close friends and there was not much to hold back, so Dada narrated what transpired after Bhau fired those shots in the jungle. He got completely teleported into the instance 19 years back. Vahini and Nanoba both ran upstairs to the terrace when they heard the shots. Bhau was just standing there clinching the rifle for one more shot. Thank God, Vaini Sahib said. Bhau was looking at the jungle in dying light as if suddenly a leopard was going to jump over from there. Jnanoba held the rifle and Vaini Sahib got his hand and slowly both sat on the bench over there. Dada Sahib had also reached the terrace, but seeing that the situation was under control, he walked back downstairs. He was wondering if he heard words help between the two round of shots. Was there some human being in the jungle that got shot? That was also the question that Vaini Sahib asked him after she came back to their room once she got Bhau Sahib safely in his room and solaced him to take some rest. Dada Sahib had the same thought but did not want to admit it. So he laughed her off. Why would somebody come from that side of the jungle at such a time? It's just your imagination. Vaini Sahib insisted we should inform the police or forest department and they can go and check. If really somebody is hurt, it's only human to help at such odd hours, and that too in the midst of wild. And if some person is really hurt badly, the incomplete sentence was implying someone may have died. Dada was not sure if involving authorities and third parties was a good idea at this point as things may escalate. Bhau may face a lot of questioning if someone is really hurt there. So he diverted by saying, is Bhau okay now? Vaini Sahib's thoughts wandered off to Bhau being safe, as her heart had missed a heartbeat when she heard the shot once, thinking he might have hurt himself. Such was her love for her son, and now she is willing to throw us under the bus, Dada concluded. But Mama Raste was getting more curious about what was actually there in the jungle. He asked, did you not check out what Bhau shot at in the jungle later? I did, without informing Vaini Sahib. Though it was getting dark and going to the jungle was dangerous, I decided to figure it out, as I did not want to have a surprise later if there was a human. Mama knew by this time that some person got hurt here, and that was the case Vaini Sahib was raking up. Ganesh was sitting with Nyanoba in the backyard having tea as well. After driving for about 3 hours at a stretch, he was looking forward to some relaxation. The jungle cottage was a perfect place with temperature lower than the urban area by a few degrees and relaxing calm in the afternoon with some chirpy birds around. While sipping tea, he asked Nyanoba, "How long are you working here?" When Nyanoba said, "Ever since Dadasaheb bought the cottage over 22 years back," Ganesh felt that he may know the case that everybody was talking about, but he hesitated as to how Gyanoba would react to such a question about the family. Instead, he started talking about the area and Gyanoba's family. He got to know that there are still some villages in the area and the government is trying to migrate them to other areas as instances of man and wild animal confrontations are increasing. Sometimes a bear hunting farmers, or bison destroying fields, or goats pulled away by leopards. People try and avoid going out of the village alone after nightfall. Was it the same 20 years back? Ganesh asked casually. He replied, "This has started more this decade, with forests getting destroyed and animals searching new avenues for food. Though there was a case of two brothers killed together by bison way back from nearby Velavan village. The bodies were found just below the hill here near a water stream." He pointed towards the nearby valley casually. This was the valley just down below the cottage. The long experience in politics, in handling people and meetings, told Dada Saheb that he should not enter a meeting without knowing the outcome. This ensured control over the meetings and getting outcomes that favored his interests. The meeting which was coming up, though with his family, did not fit this template. To make sure he had enough control over the situation, he had asked Tara Didi to get into a room with Vaini Saheb to get the full first-hand details. Tara Didi was ready to receive Vaini Saheb when she came. She travelled all the way from Fulton, so it was a much longer trip for her and Manoj Nimbalkar. Thus she went straight to the bedroom to freshen up and relax. Tara Didi arranged for a nice cup of tea for her and opened the gambit. Key for her was to know why Vaini Sahib is willing to take up the matter, that too from olden days, and what would make her stop it. After some updating from about the routine things and telling Vaini Sahib about how her young daughter does not listen to her, she opened the topic. "Why are you doing this, Ma? It is not going to help any of us given that elections are coming up in a few months." Vaini Sahib was calm and collected as this was on the expected line for her. She just sat down and explained to Tara how Dada Sahib decided to get into politics and then to do things which he would not ordinarily have thought of. Her expression was that he is not a bad person at heart, but circumstances make him choose between bad and worse. She hated him making those choices, though happy that he was successful. Can success be at the cost of principles? "I have to stand up, Tara. Better late than never," Vaini Sahib concluded. The opening gambit did not go in favor of Dada Saheb as Tara Didi could not get any concrete path, no chips on the negotiation table. Finally, closer to the evening, that time arrived when everybody was ready for meeting. One point agenda was Vaini Saheb and the possible case. Dada and Mama already had an idea about what is the case about, but they happily let Manoj Nimbalkar lead the discussion. Manoj started with a conciliatory tone and seemed keen on getting this matter out of the way as it affects family fabric. He said to Vaini Sahib to let there be discussion about what she had in mind. Vaini Sahib stated that on that fateful evening, two young men were killed by random shots from Bhau's rifle. Though Dada had guessed the case, this disturbed and shocked Bhau and Tara Didi. Both gave angry and emotional reactions, especially given their own mother is raking this up and after so long. Bhau said, "You were there and you supported me, and now what has come upon you?" His voice was trembling with anger and frustration. Tara Didi asked, "How did you keep quiet so long and raking it up now?" To this, Vaini Sahib said, "My conscience is not letting me keep quiet. One day everybody will need to balance their deeds, and this may be my way of helping those innocent souls." Mama Raste was keeping quiet till now. He asked, "Why is Dada Sahib also being dragged into this?" To this, Vaini Sahib replied, "Ask him who sent men into jungle in the middle of night and pushed the bodies down the valley slope. Ask him who went to the Villavan village the next day when bodies were found and suggested the sad villagers and kin of the dead to avoid post-mortem as it further disfigures the bodies. Ask him who used political influence over the deputy district collector to release bodies quickly without any further inquiry and release compensation quickly." Mrs. Sujata Mohite Patil was at her sarcastic best when she said, "Bison can't speak, else they would have revealed that they did not maul these two youngsters," and pointed at the bullet wounds on their bodies. Dada was surprised now by the sharp words his wife was using. He could just say, "Sujata, please stop it." Jnanova was waiting in the kitchen for the meeting of the bosses to get over. He remembered that afternoon he told Ganesh about the two people getting mauled by bison down the valley. However, he still remembered the horrible night. Bhau Sahib was sent to rest after firing those shots in the jungle. Some time passed in contemplation. Just after dinner, Dada Sahib called and had arranged for Sher Singh and him to go and see what happened in the jungle. It was dangerous to go into the jungle at night, but Dada Sahib's order could not be disobeyed. They went in and searched for over an hour, and then they found it. There were two of them, but one was already dead. The other one was in too much pain, but still alive, and had lost blood from the shot in his stomach. They decided that Sher Singh will go back and get help, and Nanoba will wait with the wounded one till help arrives. Santosh was his name. Friends, that is the end of chapter 7. If you are interested and liking this novel, please subscribe to our channel. There are also a lot more interesting videos that my friends have posted at this channel. So please enjoy them. Thank you.